Per month, I usually get about, on average, 5 new clients for the 6 week challenge. So revenue wise, that's about 5K in terms of content. Really be sometimes one day ahead only. Whenever people are completing any like of the 30-day challenge, the 6 week challenge, it adds a point to the leaderboard in real time, and then it shows up right here.
All right, welcome Andrew to the show. So Andrew, could you guide us through your app? Tell us what is it all about? How does it work?
Sure. So my app is about helping kids build an unstoppable confidence. So I'll walk you through basically the main tabs that I have here at the bottom of the app. So I've got my sales page where it's basically here's what the app's about, quick little hero image, and then I have my free training, and then I have my membership, which is $48 a month. So if you take a look at Dojo, this is where I host all of my content. So most of my lead magnets are here.
What do you sell actually in the app? Like, is that the core offer? Like, what is the offer stack? Where does it start on the low end? Where does it end on the high end?
I actually have, so on the low end, I have my subscription, $48 a month. And then I have my 6 week challenge that goes for $997.
997. And how many customers do you currently have in total, like paying customers? And how does that then translate into revenue, monthly revenue?
Um, per month, I usually get about, on average, 5 new clients for the 6 week challenge. So revenue wise, that's about 5K.
What happens after? What are you checking this? What happens after someone finishes the challenge? Are they renewing, or you will have then to get new people coming in?
Once they complete the 6 week challenge, that's it. They're not actually paying for anything else. I actually have to decide on subscribing them to a membership,
Yeah.
which is interesting because I give everyone as a bonus a 1 year annual membership for free. But I haven't actually on the back end set up an annual subscription to auto bill the clients. So
And what usually comes first? The high ticket offer that people buy first, or is it first they go into the recurring subscription, the $48 one, and then they buy the high ticket one?
straight into the high ticket.
Okay. Okay. Let's double click on that later, but let's first go through your app. So sorry for interrupting you.
Oh yeah, no worries, no worries. So basically, here's where all the content is. So all my lead magnets will be here from a basic confidence program, and then there's verbal bullying, and then there's physical bullying. So when it comes to getting leads, it starts with Instagram, and I'll provide value on Instagram, and then the call to action is that, hey, if you want my my freebie, then comment a specific word below. Then my automation tool will send them the link to opt in and get access to the lead magnets. So that's basically my process there. And then once they opt in, they get my emails, and then I'll promote on my newsletters, hey, I have a new summer challenge coming up, etc. And then when they actually book a call, then I'll go through my sales process, and then after they purchase, then they'll have access to the 6 week challenge.
Who's they? Like, what is the ideal client, and what problem are you truly solving for them?
I help kids, right, build confidence, but when I market to parents. So really, the parents make the decision to purchase, but in the end, it's the kids and the parents watch the programs together.
Interesting. And then real quick, how do you promote it? With paid ads, with organic content?
At the moment, all organic.
Nice. And then main channel is Instagram, or?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just Instagram.
And then it's organic content. People start following you, engaging with you. Then you have a DM conversation, and then you put them on a discovery call.
Yeah, that's correct. If you want, I can guide you through like what the user experience is.
Yes, that would be my next question now.
Yeah. And so when it comes to the 6 week challenge, I have everything broken down into week by week. And the way that I've actually designed this, so when you build the app, you have your thumbnail, and then you have your lesson name, and then like the little subtitle down here. So the way I've gamified this is, so I've taken some inspiration from all the video games I've played in the past. And it's like when you finish a level, you level up. And so there's of course the when you finish a video and then you complete the quiz, right? Then there's a gamification part where it says like, hey, congratulations, move on to the next lesson, right? And then on top of that too, in my video, I basically have like a experience bar. And so when they finish watching this video, let me just actually just zoom to the end. It's just I do a little bit of video editing and I'll add in some sound effects.
What is that? What is happening? Congratulations, you've leveled up.
Right. And so that's like the new level. They're now a wooden hammer. And so then when they move on to the next level, they see, oh, I'm a wooden hammer. Now I watch the story time video. Right. So then each level is a new level up. And then gradually, the leveling up will slow down a little bit to make it a little bit more challenging. And as a brand new user, basically, I have all the lessons drip as drip content. So you actually cannot get access to week number 2 until it's been 7 days, just to prevent kids from getting overwhelmed or going out of order that I intend.
I
So,
love it. How did you design it? Like, design looks amazing. It looks like computer game.
oh yeah, so I use Canva, and I just found I looked up 8-bit hammer, or I just looked up a bunch of different weapons, and then I was like, cool, well, I can just change the color of it from like a wooden to a stone to silver, then gold, and then emerald, diamond, and things like that. So I did it all in Canva.
Right. Okay. So there's the 6 week challenge. You have week on week. First week is unlocked. The other weeks are still locked for another 6.5, like 7 days essentially until, and then, okay, 2 weeks that's on. That makes sense. Um, is there anything else that they get access to? Or that's pretty
Yeah,
much it?
the community. So actually, the way that I do this is very similar. So I took the example from the Expert Unleashed Challenge, how where there's Dan's video, you fill out the type form, and then you go into the community and you post as part of your accountability, right?
Yeah.
And so I have the kids, for example, let's just say when they go on to story time, here's the challenge, right? And so by the way, just a part of the design, so this is a video file, and then this is a JPEG file or a PNG, which I also created on Canva, uploaded it with the same color as the background for the app, so it looks transparent. I'm not sure, I think some things, if you upload as a transparent color, it doesn't work. So I had to play around with making it transparent or just matching the same background color.
Right.
So, and then I have the call to action support challenge, go to the community, and then challenges, reply to another kid's post for encouragement, tag them so they get the notification, right? And so then now they'll go back, head over to community, and then they'll go to this here, Secret Ninja Village, and then they'll post here in the challenges. So you can see here, totally private community. This is where kids are completing certain challenges. They're uploading their voice memos.
I am brave, confident, I can do.
So he's doing his affirmations like, I am brave, I'm confident, I can do
Mhm.
anything.
Amazing.
And then there's some kids who are like, for example, so he's like one of the youngest in the group.
And my name is Liza, and I'm a little ninja.
Right. And so he uploaded a couple of videos doing his affirmations. This kid's a little bit older. He's like around 10. And yeah, so kids are, most of the challenges are like affirmations or doing exercises like this last one, the best friend challenge, where if you're getting nervous around talking to new people, just think of one of your best friends and how you talk to them. And then imagine you're talking to them with the new person. So that's what Ryder and Gavin did here. So
Nice. How did you do that? Did you first create the concept and then build it in the app, or you were like playing around with the app and then you fine-tuned the concept? How did it all take shape?
I think it's a little bit of everything. It was first understanding how the platform worked, and then there were some ideas that I had that weren't quite like what the platform was built for. So I thought of some workarounds, such as the design, um, and yeah, I had to think of like, for example, if there's two kids, right? Ryder and Gavin, there's two brothers, but they share the same account. So if I want to tag them, how do I tag them both? So what I found is if you eliminate the spacing between their names, then they'll both show up. So if I tag writer, right, and then now both of their names show up. But if I put a space and then like the parent's name, Laura, that won't show up in the tag. So it looks pretty clean when I tag them, right? So these are kind of just nuanced things that I just found out from testing and trying things out. So
Interesting.
um yeah, so it's a combination of everything, knowing the platform and then knowing what to the extent of what you can't do and then getting creative and trying things out.
When did you launch? Like, well, how much content did you have? Because sometimes we have these people that, like want to create everything out, like in perfection, um, perfection paralysis, right? And then you have people that are on the opposite end. They're like launched with nothing. Like, where were you when you launched in terms of content that you have had in your ad and in your app and design? How forward was that built out?
Yeah, I totally get what you mean. So I always built it as I went. So I have two challenges. I had the 30-day challenge and I have my 6-week challenge. And I did both the same exact way. First, I did the marketing. Hey, I did the launch first and I built nothing. I told them that, hey, I'm actually going to co-create this with you. Right. And then I use the feedback from what they said in the DMs or in the type forms. And it helps me start my week one, right? The first couple of videos at least. And then based on the feedback that I was getting, and I would email or DM, I would just contact the parents like, what else do you want your kids to know or learn? Like, what are you struggling with explaining right now? And things like this. And that helps me structure and create. I would literally be sometimes one day ahead only in terms of content, right? So I would even have all 30 days, like just I would create a clone of what I've created just all the way up to day 30. And literally, I would just lock it, drip content one day at a time. So since it's locked, I know that I don't really have to edit the title or have the outline done just yet. I just need to make sure I think of something in advance, like one day in advance, film it, create it, edit it, all the day before. So it was kind of kind of crazy, but when I followed it this way, I got so many parents, even just when they got to the 14th day, they're like, night and day difference with my kid. Like they're so much more confident. They're feeling better about themselves. And that's just because I was listening to what they were saying and I built content for exactly what they needed right then and there. And then all the other kids who went through the program afterwards, after it was fully built out, I got pretty much the same feedback.
I
So
love it.
yeah, same thing with 6-week challenge. The 6-week challenge, I was literally one day ahead every single day, which, like I said, is kind of crazy, but that's how I literally came up with all of these lessons um, week by week. So
How does it work? Let's say you haven't built out the content yet. It's the morning of Wednesday and you don't have built out Thursday and you're like scared on like, oh shit, I need content for Thursday. What's the exact process to get Thursday shipped?
yeah, so I would have to go, okay, what's the topic going to be? And then once I decide on the topic, sometimes that could be a matter of 10 minutes. It could be like an hour.
How do you know the topic?
Like, how do I plan out the topic or how do I
Yeah, like I have no clue what I'm going to do on Thursdays. Like, and you said like it take 10 minutes to know what the content should be about. How do you even do that?
I have to take a look at my notes of my sales calls. And like, let's just say I had 5 founding members. So I'd have to go through my notes. And sometimes I just go through my notes just a little bit. I'm like, that's actually something that is, this is one of the precursors. Like, these are the more like a foundational topic versus, because then in the beginning it's kind of like, oh, I want to make sure I cover things that are more like the foundation of your confidence. So I just go through my notes and just go, that's something that I believe the kids are going to need.
Okay, so you have a structure with foundation and then with more advanced or with different pillars, arguably. And then when you go through your notes, you put any little nugget that you find in one of these boxes or pillars. And then when you find something which fits exactly what you need for tomorrow, then you're like, okay, this is going to be it. Is that correct?
Yeah, exactly. And the way I did it was different for the 6-week challenge and then for the 30-day challenge. This was the first time I did that. And this was mostly, I would say, once I got past like the first like 7 or so, the rest of it was like uh I was winging it, to be honest, and just continuing to go back to my notes, and sometimes just directly asking parents, now that you've completed like this whole week or 2 weeks, what else are you struggling with? What else do you see? You're like, what do you want me to talk about? And then I would just use that feedback. So I would say the last half of it kind of almost seems like it goes a little bit out of order and it's completely random. But it all worked out because
Yeah.
it's, I mean, the kids had fun.
And how do you talk to the parents real quick? Because it was because you had them on the sales call, you have their phone number, you reach out to them with message and it's like, hey, is there any specific content that you're right now struggling with that you want to be talked about in the content? And then you got their feedback. And is that like, was it part of the offering where, hey, for 997 we are going to, it's a 6 week thing, but I'm also baking in whatever is relevant for you, and for that reason it felt like a good price point?
In the beginning, I was staying away from texting because I didn't want my clients to have my personal number, and like I don't want you to call me in the middle of the night or something like that. Um, so I stuck to emailing, and then after some time, like now, I just text the parents. I just text them, hey, how is your daughter doing with so far with the challenge, etc. Um, and also now that I have a better onboarding process, I also teach the parents and the kids how to send me a DM in the app. So now I'm getting more like DMs in the app rather than my personal phone. So
When I skimmed through the app, I saw a leaderboard, for example. I wonder what else is there.
yeah, so I have this leaderboard which I can't take credit for myself. I had Jarrett help me out.
From the
So
Plus team.
basically, yeah, and this is a integration with Excel sheets, and it's a graph. And then you take the graph, and you when you hit the embedded share code, you just copy the iframe code, and then you paste that into the Typeform widget.
Yeah. Hey, for anyone that is interested in that, we have another video on YouTube. It's on how to build a leaderboard. It's exactly showing and explaining how to do exactly what Andrew is showing here. So if that's interesting for you, just check it out.
Awesome. Cool. So this is basically whenever people are completing any like of the 30-day challenge, the 6 week challenge, it adds a point to the leaderboard in real time, and then it shows up right here. So you can see like who has 88, 73, all the way down to who has 30. So it's a great way for kids to go, oh man, I want to catch up to that one kid, or hey, I want to be at the top, and things like that. So that's one like integration I have here.
Got it. And right now you have the 6 week challenge and then the 30-day one, right? How do you add content over time? Is there still sometimes you tune a little bit, or you add a new piece of like a new product? Is new stuff coming? How do you add content over time?
I mean, I haven't really had to change too much. So, I mean, but when I do add content, I would just literally, let me just log into my actual account. I mean, pretty straightforward. I would just, for example, I have updated the Ninja type quiz video before. So in this case, I would just film a new video, edit it, and then once it's done, then I would just basically remove this video and then just re-upload the new video. And I
Okay.
just do it as quick as I can, so no one's gonna go, "Hey, where did the video go?" Right? So sometimes I do at the end of the day, things like that. So that's how I update my content.
And how do you edit the video?
I use Adobe Premiere.
Got it. And did you know any of these tools before, Canva or Adobe, or how did you?
I did play around with video editing when I was like in middle school, high school. So I played around with that, and I do have to use it for like Instagram as well. So I had some experience with video editing already.
Okay. And how do you use it today on a daily, weekly level, the app?
Oh, the app. I mean, like now that I filmed everything and everything's done, then mainly what I do is I just go to the community and check on the kids. Like, what are they posting and responding to them? So just being active in my own community is basically what I do on a daily basis.
Okay. And what do you do there? How do you engage? You link to content? You just answer questions? You do audios? How do you drive value in a community?
Yeah. So all I have to do is just go in and respond to the kids, honestly, because the way that I structured everything is working for me to make it as passive as possible. So once they sign up for the 6 week challenge, they already have 2 challenges in week 1, and then when they do it, they have to post in the community that they did it. Or the very first challenge they do is the support challenge. They go into the community and then say great job to another kid, and that's their first challenge, right? And the second challenge is they post their growth mindset affirmations. So when they post it as a voice memo or a video, then I'll go in there and then I'll respond and say, hey, great job. Like in this case here, I tagged Mason, said, way to do the entire Rebel Ninja Creed. And that's basically what I do. And that's it. It's pretty passive.
What's your plan here for the future to, let's say, triple from 5K to 15K a month?
Yeah. So then I have to take a look at the things that take up most of my time, which is the marketing and the sales aspect, right? So with the way that I drive leads is by sending direct messages. So if someone asks for a freebie or someone follows me, I just have to go. I do a lot of outbound and go, hey, so tell me a little bit more about what you're struggling. I saw that you asked about my freebie. Like as much as you're comfortable with, tell me what's going on, and I'll do my best to support you. Right. And then I just do what Dan trained in expert growth, which is provide value, give, open up a sales window to where they're like, do you offer programs? Like, do you, and so when I get to that, then I'll go, yes. And of course, there's so much more to explain. Let's hop onto a quick call. So then that way I can understand more of the situation and then go from there. So that takes a lot of time. So if I want to double or triple the revenue, I would need to really solidify my process and then create SOPs and get some VAs to do the Instagram part for me. Then I have more leads generated. If I can get people on a call, I can close them. Like my close rate is pretty high. It's probably around like 70%.
If you think the creator economy is really interesting, then I got something for you. On milliondollarcreators.club, we actually created a database of all the creators out there, and you see not just their fans, followers, subscribers, but actually how much money are they making. So with that, we bring now transparency into the creator economy, and you really see how are the best of the best get their customers, price their offers, create their offer stack, get customers, which tools are they using, how will they grow and triple their business going forward. So if that's interesting for you, including lists of who makes the most revenue, who has the fastest revenue growth, who has the biggest audience, who has the fastest growing audience, who makes the most revenue per follower, and who has the most exciting offer stack from low end all the way to the high end, then go to milliondollarcreators.club and enjoy the data. Let me double click on that. So when you said you do outbound, you mean outbound to the freebie. So that means people are getting the freebie, and the freebie is the free offer inside the app,
Yeah, my free training
the free
with
training.
yeah.
So people see your content on social, then they download the app because they see, hey, I can get this app. Then they get it. They go on the freebie. You see there's a new user for the freebie, and then if you see that this person engages, then you casually send out messages to this person and start to engage, and then ultimately you end up on a call, and then you convert them into the 6-week challenge. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That is correct.
And in order to triple that, you're saying you have to get more top of funnel, so more people downloading the app and doing the freebie so that you can reach out to more people. And you would have to hire a VA or someone that does more posts on Instagram, for example, to drive more leads. Is that correct?
I would say not the post. I would say the outbound, the reaching out and communicating with parents and driving value.
The users in the freebie to engage with them until they're ready for the call. So that means you would be the closer and you would need a setter.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And you have a bottleneck of getting more freebies. So let's say to triple the business, is the bottleneck right now to engage more with the freebies, or is it to get more freebies?
Engage. because I think I have like enough followers to just go through the followers list and just start DMing people on Instagram. So I think I have enough followers to do that. But I do try to post as regularly as possible and always have a call to action that if you want my free training, like if you want this done easier, just comment confidence below. And then they get sent a message. I follow up with them. That part just takes time, you know, because everyone, including myself, I get like bots messaging me all the time. Hey, you get 10,000 followers, right? Or hey, like make $1 million. And so there's always bots everywhere. And so I just try my best to make it as human as possible so they understand that I'm a real person trying to help them. So, but that
Okay.
takes so much time.
Okay. So the engagement part happens on Instagram messages, and you do organic content, reply with a word, likely ManyChat automation. They get then, what do they get? Like a free video, a free like link to the app, or what's the first thing that they receive if they reply with confidence?
The first thing they receive is a link to the opt-in page, right? So, I mean, for anyone who's listening, if you do have a Passion app, very easy way to do that is just use Passion pages. So use ManyChat to automate giving people your freebie, and then in exchange for the freebie, they give you the email. So you can use like ConvertKit or whatever email provider you have to start sending more emails and build your, you know, a strong list. So yeah, that's what I do. And then as soon as that the ManyChat sends them the message, then I ask them like, um, what is your child like? If since you reached out, is like, how can I help you? Like, is your child going through something? Tell me a little bit more, and then I'll just go through more pain points, trying to extract more pain points, have them open up, and then I can then give them and give value. Then I sell them on jumping onto a Zoom call.
The offers are good, like you know they work. The price point is good. You wouldn't change anything there as well. The funnel works as well. The organic content is there. It's essentially engaging with people and building up that relationship before you then can do calls.
Yeah, because in the end, the whole app part, it's really doing so much work for me, right? So I already invested all my time up front with filming, content creation, editing, and then creating this 6 week program, which is my flagship thing. It's really what supports me the best financially. It all does all the work from, like I say, 90% of the coaching is done without me having to do a single thing. They watch the videos, they know what the challenges are, the accountability, their homework, they post it in the app. So once or twice a day, I'm going into my own app and going, oh, someone posted something new, and I'll respond and things like that.
Yeah,
So that's the only manual piece to the app for me, right? And then I'll jump onto a live call once a week.
almost like a group call where they can ask questions and you reply.
It's mostly accountability. I've noticed that just people need help with completing things, or their busy lives will, no matter how easy I make it, I always get people, oh, you know, I got busy. So the accountability call is just like, hey, show up to the call. I'm going to see if you completed everything, and I'm going to pump you up for your next week and tell you just how exciting the next week is going to be, because you're going to learn this, and that. And then it's a short 30-minute call.
One more question on the app itself. Why not just an online course somewhere? Like, why is the app? What is it? What's the benefit of it for you and also for the kids and the parents?
Yeah. Um, well, I also purchased like online courses for other things, and it really is annoying to be the user of an online course. And as much as I want to learn and learn, I just sometimes get really irritated with, like, sometimes I don't even use my phone anymore for like online courses because I'm so annoyed with how it works. So I wait until I have access to the computer or a laptop, and then because then it's just like it's bigger, it's easier to use. But yeah, man, I don't like the user experience with online courses on my phone. Um, and I also don't like how there's no offline sync. So like when I'm on the plane or I'm somewhere where I'm not going to have Wi-Fi, I can't just hit the cloud button. So many times I wish like some of these programs that I bought to like these online courses, um, like how to speak on stage, for example, that's something recently I bought, and the I can barely ever use it on my phone, because I'll make sure I have to always have Wi-Fi or internet connection. But if I could download and then I could just like have no uninterrupted experience, that'd be amazing. And all I have to do is just tap on this logo on my phone and I'm there. I don't have to go, where's my login, password, where do I go? Let me scroll to the left and up and down, right? It's like, where on this page am I going to have to scroll to? Versus on the app, you know, um, is like I just tap on the Rebel Ninja logo and then I tap on community or I tap on dojo. Everything fits the screen in a way that it's engineered to be simple. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I love
And
that.
faster. You know, I'm a
Very,
salesperson. I can't help but sell it.
very clear. Very clear. One more question, because right now you mainly use it for community interactions and to check in how people are doing in the app, right? And social, at least I predominantly use it on my phone, like WhatsApp or iMessage or whatever I'm using. But also sometimes people do it on computer, right? So how do you use it? Do you use it mainly on a computer? Do you actually do it when you are, I don't know, commuting or in the bathroom?
That one's true. I sometimes make changes on my app while I'm on the toilet. But that's an amazing thing because we didn't always have that functionality. But like last year, I think we added it to where as long as you're logged in as the admin, you can make changes in the app from your phone. Right. So sometimes I'm on my toilet and I'm making changes because I get random inspiration when
Yeah.
I'm sitting there.
That makes sense. In the bathroom, you always have this inspiration. No, like to be honest, I also have my app, and it's also one thing which I really love because I can build and work on my business like 50 times a day and make these small little changes, and it gives me such a good feeling, like a dopamine hit or so. But it's of course smarter to do it to work on the business than to just like dumbly browse or scroll through a social media feed, right? So I feel much better doing this than doing something different.
Yeah. And I can also use that time to respond to my own clients on my own app,
Yeah.
right? Rather than, doom scrolling, for example. I get what you mean.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
your question too about using the laptop and the app, vice versa. I just use whatever is convenient. So if I'm at the desk and I'm on my computer, I already have like Google Chrome opens up the specific pages that I want to use, and my own app is one of those pages, right? So then as soon as it opens up, I'm like, oh yeah, and I'll just go through my community post, and it's like easy. And then if I'm on my phone, then I'll use my phone. So I like having both.
You know what? I have one more question. You said right now they come in the 6 week challenge, right? And then you make like 5K a month, but then after the 6 week, it's essentially that's it, right?
Yeah.
What's your best bet to build consistent income where every new sale will actually add new revenue on top, but you have just like this baseline which always comes in and you can count on it.
So I was like talking to some other uh passioneers about it, so Jarrett and Pre, and they were saying it might be a good idea to set up an automatic renewal of an annual plan, right? And then just like we do with like our Passion Plus, before the year is up, send out a message, an automated email. In my case, since I'm just one person, have an automated email like, hey, by the way, in 2 months or next month, the annual plan is going to be billed at etc. price. Let me know if you need to cancel it,
Yeah.
something like that. I think that'd be next for me.
Got it. I think one thing which is also interesting is you have quite established programs, right? The free training and the 6 week challenge, and these are two amazing offers and they work. Most of the $1 million creators that I interview that make $1 million or more, they have an offer stack of seven offers on average.
7 offers.
Yeah, so like some 3, some 10, some 15. I would on average it's 7. And the average price point is $30,000 per year per client. So that means yes, of course, they do a lot of quantity on low price points, but they also have sometimes price points up to 10K, 30K, 50K, 80K, 100K. Having said both of that, I think it's interesting what comes after the 6-week challenge, because still I would say it's the foundation. You have done this challenge, and then what is the next pillar that you want to go deeper into? Could it be, I don't know, communication? Could it be physical strength? Could it be mental health? I don't know what it is, right? And then based on the engagement again with your parents, you should know like what these pillars could be. And then they could even be at a higher price point. They could come in at 3, 4, 5K. And if that's like really the thing that would make a difference for their child, they would likely invest there. And it would then, you would then at some point know that if someone completes the challenge, you have a 60% chance that someone then will go into one of these other pillars. And with that, you have, they call it reoccurring revenue. So it's actually one-time fee, but it's one-time fee after one-time fee after one-time fee, because people ascend into the next pillars and they always go one level up and commit further, if that makes sense.
No, these other examples, are they like B2B or B2C?
Well, I've seen everything. It's, I mean, of course, B2B is easier to get that price point, but it's definitely also B2C. Sometimes it's our own belief patterns where we think like, what the fuck, like 10K, like who would ever pay that, right? But people spend 100K plus for the education of their child. So if that really helps to get them where they need to be, I wouldn't be surprised if more than a 1K price point is actually possible.
To be honest, I probably would need guidance on that, or I probably need to watch some of the other episodes. Because you're right. Like there's that belief pattern, the imposter syndrome of like, oh man, who's gonna pay more than 1K, or like what am I going to be able to offer that's worth that? Like there's that belief pattern. So I do have that in me, because this is the
Yeah.
most I've ever charged. Like I thought, like, because just like the 30-day challenge, I sold it for 97. And I even had like a parent tell me like I had to save up 2 months to be able to afford this. And then so when I was going through like expert growth, and then the lowest price point to offer was at 997, I'm like, dude, this is 10 times more than what I normally charge. Then I was just like, yeah, who's gonna pay for this? But then I literally got no objections for like the first 7 calls. And then after that, then someone was like, I even if we split into 4 payments, I really can't do it. And then we still keep in touch. But I've had a lot of calls where they're just like, all right, let's do it.
What I've also seen multiple times is scholarships. What does it mean is that there's, let's say, an annual fund of 5K or so, which would equal 5 scholarships. And you can actually then have people apply for it. And if you do this right, then it can create word of mouth. It can create good content on social where you get more traction, people that want to do it, or people that are engaging with your content can be an option if done right, like scholarships.
Oh, so you mean like, hey, so you get like a huge discount type of thing?
Yeah, for example, I've seen this with a guy that helps young kids to go into a football career across the pond, for example, in Europe. And not everyone is able to invest 5 figures into a 1 or 2 year commitment. But then if you have a really, really strong player with good potential, then for a few, they then do a 50% or even a 100% scholarship or discount. Think Harvard or Ivy League, right? If you are outstanding and you want to have this person, then sometimes you can get a scholarship. And that is not just good for this person, it also, if done well in marketing, creates more top of funnel. But yeah, we could likely talk for 1 more hour on ideas on how to bring this up to 7 figures, but I think you're onto something. It's with 5K a month, that's 60K or close to 6 figures that you will crack next, and then doubling, tripling, you go to 500,000. Things pretty straightforward.
Straightforward. Yeah,
What do you
yeah.
think?
I mean, of course, it's like not having done that before, it's kind of like, whoa, can that really happen? Of course, I think everyone thinks that way, but that's kind of like, but logically, that makes sense. It does. Increasing my price point. I am unsure of people being able to afford it. But I guess that's just there's plenty of other people charging higher price points than me. And
I would do it in 2 steps. Step number one is you do what you said, you engage more, you bring more people in, so that instead of 5 people a month, you do 20, 30 people a month. And then you need to find some system that you don't want to lose them after 6 weeks, but you want to still have them in the system. If you find a good recurring offer, that might work. But one other option is to have another product at the same price point, maybe even, or at a higher price point. That would be the perfect gateway from the 6-week challenge to the next thing that now the kid needs. So it's almost like gamifying what the kid needs in their tool belt in order to be the best possible equipped kid. And the 6-week challenge is just a gateway into that, if that makes sense. It could be even 5 1K offers. They paid once, they know, okay, this really worked, this was awesome, great ROI. Let's invest the next 1K. We know this works.
yeah, no, that makes sense. Just an idea that brought up is like, because some of the things I'm getting is like once a kid completes a 6-week challenge, I think some of the parents are asking me like, hey, so this one situation up at school came up, and so I wasn't quite sure how to handle this, and I go, well, use this one the lesson from week number 5. We talked about this social anxiety thing, right? So explain it like just like this, and help them implement it. And so I think that like with each of the different pillars in each of the 6 weeks, there could just be a one program just focusing on shy and social anxiety, and just getting very, very, very good at having the kid. You just drop off your kid and just like sayonara, and you know that they can make new friends and feel confident and be happy without you having to helicopter parent over them, right? So that could be one.
It could also be one, it's true, like emergency assistance or having like almost a support level that you can always reach out if there's a question. I also think that the parents and also the teachers in these times, they're not equipped in all cases to do a good job to really help the kids, right? And you're with your programs, you help the kid. If I like maybe like double click on that as well, maybe there's even opportunity to help the parents as well. If you do this together, kids and parents, then maybe not, because you educate both. But if it's mainly for the kids, maybe there's another program possible where you help parents to become a better parent, because at least I'm a parent myself. I try to give my best, but no one really taught me or shown me. So I'm just like winging it essentially.
Got it.
And if there's someone with experience, then I would be down to learn, because if my daughter is pushed in school, yes, it's great that if you help her, but what can I do as a parent?
And to be honest, that's even harder for me to teach, because I feel like there's multiple levels to this. Like the first level is I speak directly to the kids, which is very easy for me. I just become a kid in my own mind and simplify the language, have it fun, make it infotaining. That's easy for me, right? Can
Yeah.
take complicated things and make it easy for kids. And then what's harder for me is to think about like, okay, how did I do that? Because I intuitively like do this now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for me to break down step by step, how did I word it and why did I make that metaphor? What was the purpose behind that? And see how the gears are turning in my head. It's harder and slower for me to break that down. And then that would be probably my next offer is like, let me just show you how to do what I'm doing. So instead of me giving you a fish for a day, you know how to fish
I
and
love
feed
that.
yourself for life.
Love
That
that.
might be my next offer.
Cool. Amazing.
Thanks for well, you gave me that idea.
Is there an opportunity of an event where could also be virtual? You bring, not sure if you're doing this already, you bring the kids together virtually and you do something fun and entertaining for a few hours. Well, I don't know how long it makes sense, which could also be a good freebie versus the 30-day challenge, which is quite a commitment. But if you give them a lot of fun, then from there also likely you could get leads and then conversations, but in the hundreds, thousands potentially, if you promote the virtual event well.
That's a good idea.
Like the Student Confidence Summit, or I don't know, something where, some people that have trained with you are put on stage and they share before, after, and people are like, oh shit, this is amazing. And then, the parents are there as well, and they see that there's good intentions, it's a good cause. And then ultimately, it's quite easy to just run an event. It's like very low commitment. Hey, are you available or not? And this is something useful for your time to do with your time. And then, it's a 30-day challenge is also easy, but just showing up for like a call, maybe even lower commitment to build up trust and show what you're about.
That's a good idea. Like a free masterclass, but like to get the kids involved.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Almost like, I wouldn't call it like webinar, right? But because the word has now this connotation, but it could be a masterclass, a 90-minute masterclass on confidence. And you bring some kids on stage, or you show some videos of kids, and you show them some pillars, you give away your best value for free, right? And then with that, parents see, hey, actually, this is a really cool thing. Maybe I should learn more here. And then you go into conversations after the event.
Yeah. That's a good idea.
That was a good conversation. I
Yeah.
think the next steps on your end, or like some ideas maybe,
Right.
are there. Thank you so much for showing the app. It's, I think, amazing. The color scheme, the
Yeah.
gamification, it's just really well done. And that you make 5K a month is also just showing that you're providing good value for the kids. And even these little videos from kids saying that they're confident now is very touching. So thank you so much for sharing that, and love what you do.
Yeah. Well, thanks for having me.